Bitcoin is creating a massive sell wall around $100,000, and on today's update video I will be discussing this, the most important charts and patterns that are telling us something about what currently is playing out. I'm gonna be diving in towards the momentum which we are currently creating, and I will be talking about the most important charts and patterns that are telling us something about what is about to be happening next for Bitcoin. So without any further ado guys, we're starting to see the Bitcoin dominance finally dropping, and the signs of altcoin seasons are really returning right now here. So I'm gonna be discussing this and many more important charts. So don't forget to once again slap up that like button back above 1,000 likes. It will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. First of all, Bitcoin is creating another CME gap over the course of this weekend, and this has been the highest CME gap Bitcoin has ever created, sitting around $98,891. And yes, what we're usually expecting for these CME gaps is that Bitcoin tends to be hovering around those CME gaps, and near the end of the weekend we tend to come back at these CME gaps. So this is the consensus, this is what happens most of the times, but we do know that from time to time, sometimes we do see these outshooters where Bitcoin of course has a significant CME gap on the top side, or sometimes where we have a significant CME gap on the lower side. But basically what the forecast is for this weekend, if we're just going to be having a normal weekend, is that Bitcoin is just going to be trading somewhere around that 99,000 US dollar level. Further on, what we basically are seeing that Bitcoin is potentially creating a new rising wedge pattern, this time around on the 1 hour time frame. This is definitely a pattern I want to be looking closely at, because yes, I'm looking at all pattern formations. First we were looking at the symmetrical triangle, we broke outside of it, and of course Bitcoin had a major continuation higher, and now we're creating a rising wedge pattern, which I definitely want to be discussing right now here, since we are close towards 100,000 US dollars. And while we are approaching this 100k level, guys, you have to understand that there is a huge amount of sell orders between 100,000 US dollars and 102,000 US dollars. And yes, these sell orders are likely going to be providing somewhat of resistance for Bitcoin. And in all honesty, we have seen an entire move towards the upside without any major resistance. And to find resistance exactly around that 100,000 US dollar level is actually all more than likely to be expecting. And the thing that I do really want to be discussing right now here, and I know I don't want to be sounding bearish or whatsoever, but I do want to be pointing out the fact that we are indeed creating a major bearish divergence here on the 4-hourly time frame, where we are clearly losing momentum and the chart is still setting higher highs. I mean, yes, I can clearly see Bitcoin is about to break 100,000 US dollars. Ultimately, myself, I am very bullish on Bitcoin on the longer perspective, only on the immediate short term. This chart is clearly showing us that we are losing momentum, and usually whenever this tends to be happening, we tend to see a slight little drop in price here. And all in all, that wouldn't be all too bearish for Bitcoin if you would ask me here, but if it were to be happening, yes, that could potentially lead for Bitcoin to be pushing down ever so slightly before having then another push towards the upside. So I do want to be pointing out that we are creating such a pattern. At the meantime, yesterday, we still had major buys coming in from the BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF, and in general from the ETF, we still saw major inflows. And I mean, we can see that in the last week already alone, we once again saw about 3 billion US dollars worth of buys, even more than that to be exact, were coming in on the spot Bitcoin ETF here. So there are major amounts of buys coming in here. And all in all, guys, what I'm really expecting is, just like we had in the previous cycle as well here, is that we're going to be getting something similar to the Christmas effect here. Because if you don't know, if you're new in crypto, the Christmas effect is something that has always taken place in bull markets, where basically Bitcoin rallies extremely hard into Christmas, and then during Christmas, most people are going to talk once again about Bitcoin because they made some crazy gains with it. They're going to talk to their family about Bitcoin, how good it is performing and why Bitcoin is so good, and then people are going to be buying even more Bitcoin because they have FOMO, and that is how retail really returns in the market, and that is what you call the Christmas effect here. I mean, we've always seen this in previous bull markets, and I'm thinking something similar is happening, and then we could be expecting, of course, the next exponential leg higher to come after Christmas here. So that is really the forecast that I am having for myself right now here. I'm not quite exactly sure what is going to be happening before, because it's very difficult to predict what the market is going to be doing if we're in such an exponential market. But definitely what we're seeing right now here is that most of the charts are still indicating we're going to have a bigger push higher. But if we're going to get any rejection, guys, here, I would definitely take this as an opportunity to open up a new long trade, because I'm definitely looking forward towards opening up a new long position on Bitcoin. So at the same time, I want to be pointing out that the Bitcoin market cap USDT dominance is right now finally dropping, and actually we've seen this happen multiple times before, usually at the beginning of that bull market. So very bullish signals right now occurring. Of course, we have the bull flag pattern, which my price target is $120,000 US, and more importantly, I was looking at CoinGecko today, and I started to see that loads and loads of altcoins are actually starting to explode, and we're seeing a major rejection here coming in right now on the Bitcoin dominance, exactly at the resistance, and more importantly, exactly at the right timing. I mean, if we're just looking for what is about to be happening, was because what I expect is going to be dropping down to 37% here. We have not seen anything yet so far here, but if we're just looking at the timings, guys, we do know that we are about to be most likely seeing a major altcoin season, and likely this altcoin season we're going to be getting meme coins that are going to be performing the best. Just like the first cycle, we had just in general the large cap altcoins perform very well. Then the second cycle, we of course had NFTs, which were going absolutely nuts here, and this cycle I believe it's going to be meme coins that are going to be performing the best in my opinion. Further on, we're currently creating a major rising wedge pattern on the Bitcoin dominance, and if this really starts to be breaking down, that is going to be the confirmation of altcoin season really going to get started in the market. And if I'm going to give you for a comparison how Ethereum performs in Q4 to Q1, it is usually that Q1 is where Ethereum does the best compared to Q4. So yeah, Ethereum is always lagging behind ever so slightly to Bitcoin, and that is why I'm expecting that, yes, it is not necessarily a time to be panicking about altcoins, but more to scoop them up here, because I see many people are afraid altcoins are not going to be doing good here, but all the charts and indicators are just showing us that we are literally getting ready for a major altcoin season, and that this is honestly one of the worst timings to be fading this market. And yes, just like we had in 2021, we're right now seeing a major breakout from the total market cap, excluding the top 10 here, and that is really a thing I am looking at if I'm going to be trying to forecast an altcoin season. At the same time, Bitcoin dominance looks to be having a major turndown, and if I'm just going to be looking at the logic of the market cycle, I really think that we're still in that belief cycle, in that belief stage, and that top euphoria is still yet to be hitting. And whenever that is going to be hitting, that is where altcoins, of course, are going to be popping off, and that is also a point where I will be taking major profits in the market. And whenever that's going to be happening, you will be the first one to know if you are subscribed to the channel, because yes, while I'm right now providing you all this information about altcoin season to start anytime soon, if I do really think the market is going to be topping out here, I will be letting you know the first one of all the YouTubers out there. So make sure to subscribe to the channel right now here, and if you want to be benefiting from Bitcoin, shorting it, longing it, or trading any altcoins, because on Bluefin you can trade any altcoin, like whatever you think of, and you can trade them without any KYC. They're one of the fast listing exchanges out there. So really, if you want to be trading any of these altcoins and make major profits from the volatility of them, Bluefin is the exchange to do it, and you can do it without any KYC. And if you're right now, go to the link description of today's video, the link above my face right now here, you can get an insane $10,000 deposit bonus by only signing up an account here. So very interesting, and I would highly recommend for everyone to check it out right now here as well. Yeah, just on Bitcoin on the monthly time frame, we're just seeing a major breakout. And if you just put off the logarithmic time frame, you can just see how exponential Bitcoin is actually going right now here, and how easy this was to forecast, because we've talked about it so many times, and it exactly played out like we have been expecting. I mean, yes, in also the previous cycle, we had 4 months of exponential rally, and right now we have not even had 1 month here. So if history is any indication, we're likely still going to be having some major profitable periods in the market right now here as well. Bitcoin looks to be only just getting started. So very excited in my opinion, guys. Please make sure not to fade the market right now. This is honestly one of the worst periods to do so. So yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's amazing new update video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to slap that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.